Hello there, I'm Nu-Trix, and today we're looking into Cheatcode. It's a plugin, it's weird, it's part of a plugin that we called, I personally call, the creative ones. If you pick this for simply adding reverb, you're going to be kind of surprised, to say the least. It's from Beat Surfing. They're doing these fun, weird, creative plugins, and this one is really special. So it's a multi-effect. It has 4 slots if you want, when you can load your plugin. If we get rid of all of them, for example, you have 16 different plugins to choose from. Keep in mind that you've got these macros here that can be used from the knob, but they can also be used from an envelope that is an envelope follower from the input coming from different sources. You can have an LFO or a shape that is an LFO that is also the source of modulation. So you can have a lot of things moving in this. And then when you click here, you can decide where this is going to be, moving this one. So this is now how this envelope from the audio main out will control the pattern value here. So it can become really bizarre. That's my snare. Simple, small, here. Just put the first one. Now it's synced. The division of the slices or the feedback, is it using triplets, 16? Because when sync mode, if we use free mode, this doesn't work. And you get different types. There's a drift in it. There's a filter for the delay stuff. This can be really creative right away. So this is way more than just adding the delay on something. This one my playhead. This is what my feedback is. So this is using fractals. So you really have to just figure out where the rhythm becomes natural to your song. Without it. We also have a grain delay. Kind of stereo. So it's going to granularize the sound. Well, all of this are basically a lot of granular synthesis being used here. Drift this. So different textures to it, different ways of having the time change here. And you have a section where you can say it's going to affect kind of a crossfade of how the effect's going to be happening. Okay. Sequence delay. So that's using this sequence that you draw here. So just another, but this one has a sequence you can draw. And there's one Here for the source, there's one for the pan. And there's another one for the amplitude. Tap delay. So you just tap, 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 tap. Again, bring that in. And you can decide where it's gonna, which frequency is gonna be the crossover frequency for this. You have panning. You got stutter, but on the snare it's less obvious. That's my tapping. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are for basically the delays. Let's try now with a bass, for example. I've got my bass playing now. I'm going to load in chorus. So without it. So graphically, really rapidly, you can record that movement. Remember that we can assign these to control these things. So we get different shapes you can play from, different engine. You can flip the LFO, you can drift the LFO, you can decide. There's actually 2 delays doing the chorus sound, so you can control them separately. The mix in. So it's a cool chorus sounding thing. Now, the tune is a little bit like, so if you got 2 LFO, 3 actually LFO here working. So it's detuning and creating that stereo. So of course, the more wobbly you make it. Downsampler. It's really just playing with the quality of the sound and the jitter. Flanger. To reverb. Oops, bring the volume up. An EQ here, and we have, that's EQ for the feedback, well, for the reverb basically. And you can these different engines, and you can play it, that's the thing. So that's just weird. The reverser. So if you get 2 half-time backward melody and rhythmic glitches, it's just. So I'm using 8th. Okay, that's semitone. Well, basically you can play with that and find a new rhythm from the same stuff that you had. And you riff. And you're controlling here the speed versus speed curve of this moving. The depth, you get the ratio here. And that's the speed, okay. Get the shaper. Different engines, and the shape, and the ripple, and the saturation. The shuffler is interesting. Now that you get a crossover to tell you which frequency is going to be affected, and these are which one are going to be shuffling over and how much. That's the speed of it. For the mid frequency, for the high frequency. Get a slicer. So slicing the frequencies and the timing to different things. You get different patterns already loaded in. You can play. You can select them. You get the different envelope you're going to be using. You can stretch them or push them to be shorter. ADSR for the high frequency, for the mid frequency, and for the low frequency. And you get the vinyl scratching and the movement of a vinyl if you want. Get stereo EQ, crossover again for the frequency for the 3 that we are controlling here, low, mid, high. Get the spin, which is more like a rotary speaker if you want, to play in the stereo field. So you've got counterclockwise and clockwise, and you get the shape of it. And you can change the edge. So it changes the way the sound moves. The whole drum and to the effect itself. And listen to some of the weird Notice one thing at the bottom here. They can be in series or they can be in parallel. So you go in parallel, all of them are acting as a separate parallel effect, or in series, they add up on top of each other. I think that this is great to do these back, these wash of sounds or the back action in the back of your main instrument. For me, it's going to be a get-go for that, because it's just creates weird movement and action. But if you bring it down here and you still have your main drum at the front, you keep your clarity of the main drum, but you have that, back action happening, which is pretty cool. See all the movement happening here? They're all coming from these macros being LFOs, and you just have to click and say where you want these to happen. And this is what's moving all of these. So this is another way to show how mutation in real time can be really cool here. Cheatcode from Beat Surfing. You have to check it out if you want a multi-effect that creates stuff that you're not used to. It has a little bit weird way of working, but that's part of the creative process of discovering and having these happy accident. Of course, too much of everything makes it into a puddle of weirdness that might be difficult to use depending on where you stand in the music creation process. You have everything here to create something different than you're used to, meaning you get delays, but they don't work the way you expect. You already have delays probably, and reverbs and chorus and flanging. This one does stuff differently. So if you're looking to have that weirdness coming into your workflow, well, look at Cheatcode. You might be interesting in actually including it at your arsenal of plugins. That's it. Stay safe, make more music, and see you soon. Cheers.